I tried that, Dan. Nobody seemed to care that I was playing video games. What the fuck?
What?
What is that?
It's a piece of paper.
Piece of paper? You just playing some music on it?
Yeah. You could turn it.
I've never seen this before in my life.
You could turn any piece of paper into a whistle. You know that, right?
I don't know anything of the sort.
If you take a piece of paper, you hold it between your two fingers,
Yeah.
and you blow.
Hold on, I got some paper over here. Actually, I don't have any paper over here. I have a birthday card from my sister. Will that work?
Too thick.
Too thick?
Is there an envelope?
Doesn't do nothing.
Is there an envelope?
Yeah, there's an envelope. Yeah, there's an envelope. So now, do I have to fold it a certain way?
No. What you do is tear it off so you have a nice, clean piece of not gum.
I'll tear off the top here.
Not gum.
A little ASMR.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Not
People love
gum.
that.
You just want one thickness, not both thicknesses of the envelope, just one.
Yeah. I tore off.
Hold it
half.
between your fingers and then blow right on it. No, do it the wide way. Turn it
Wide way like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do I put my lips on it?
You're blowing.
Am I doing it?
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan!
I'm Tony!
This is the only show on the internet that dares to criticize the Marvel Universe.
Is this Marvel? Like, it's not Marvel proper, for sure. I don't know. Because it's the Fox. Because isn't it? Yeah, it's Marvel adjacent, because this is like the Fox Marvel, which is not, I don't think anyone would consider that Marvel.
Well, they're both about to impregnate each other and spit out a new baby. Birth out a new baby.
Can't wait for that. Yeah, they are. I love babies.
Yeah, so each week we watch a movie. This week, Tony picked the movie, and he did pick a movie that's actually relevant for what's happening. What's happening right now.
I mean, I thought, you know what I mean? Because, we got Deadpool, Wolverine. Is it V Wolverine? Is it Deadpool / Wolverine?
I'm sure Deadpool's
We have a
be
new Deadpool
Wolverine.
movie coming out in which Wolverine is also in it. So I thought, let's go back to their beginnings and see where they started. We'll do one of those Instagram, like how it started, how it's going. I hate those, by the way, but we'll do one of those. And this is, of course, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's
Wolverine. Yeah.
Wolverine.
2009, hour and 48 minutes, maybe an hour and 47 minutes, depending on who you talk to. The leaked work print was 107 minutes, and then they said that it's the same length as the movie. And when I turned on this movie, it was an hour and 48 minutes. So I don't know if we got an extra minute or if they made it a little wider.
Made a little wider. Now we got a full 37 seconds of extra goodies. That's what it is. I can feel it.
They said that. Do you remember when the work print got leaked on this movie?
Not at all. No, I didn't even. I don't even. That doesn't even sound familiar to me.
Basically the whole movie got leaked on the internet, and
oh shit,
10 million people, 10 million downloads. They said that's what they estimated. 10
so
million.
more people saw it then than saw it in the theaters. I would gather.
This movie did pretty good. Don't.
Oh, did it do well? Oh, good.
Yeah,
that's good. I saw it in the theaters. I'll tell you that much.
I saw it somewhere. I don't think I saw it in the theaters, but I think maybe I watched it on video fairly early.
This was one of our midnight movies back in the day.
Oh, okay. The way it got leaked was through Rupert Murdoch. They made him up a quickie version and got it to him, and they weren't super careful with the security. And I'm not saying
you gotta be. He didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I'm not saying Rupert Murdoch himself, but it seems like it was. That's where it occurred. Was
you gotta encrypt that stuff? I don't know what that means, but you gotta do it. You gotta keep it safe, keep it secret.
And one guy went to jail for a year for
Oh, no kidding.
It seems like he was one of the guys that maybe bounced it up to one of the places where everybody got access to it, because he wasn't like
one of the torrent sites.
That's words. Yeah.
That's
So yeah. So
wait, you've never been a torrenter, Dan? You never stole? Good, because piracy is a crime.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I would. I mean, I'll be honest. I have done it. If I'm being fully transparent, government, I have done it. I don't like it, and it wasn't by choice, but I have done it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that just because I don't know how. We were at the CVS pharmacy getting my prescription, and the guy was like, "Could you did you get a text for this?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Could you go there and have it generate a barcode or a QR code? Because we don't want people saying their information anymore. Because normally you give them your name and your." So I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then I start it, and I'm like, "Oh man, it's not working." He's like, you can get on the CVS Wi-Fi. So I got on the CVS Wi-Fi. Finally got in there. It's like, "What's your password?" I'm like, "I don't know what my password is." And
I don't know. I made that 12 years ago.
Shannon's just standing there like, what have I created?
How did I get here in my life?
So we figured it out.
I feel like my wife feels that way every day.
App. We're so set up now. So point being, I couldn't download stuff if I wanted to. So they're coming out with the Deadpool Wolverine movie. This is the famed Deadpool movie where Deadpool has Cyclops' powers. Forgot that he had Cyclops' powers
and the teleportation powers. Just like Deadpool does in the comics.
And knives in his arms.
Right? Yep. Come just like Wolverine. Great stuff.
So, like you, I saw this movie. Maybe not open it. Maybe not in the theater, but within the first year. And was just like, what is this?
Yeah, what are we doing? What kind of a plan was that? Because here's the thing. I like the story, the overall story of Wolverine freeing mutants that are being experimented on. I like that story.
Oh, sure. That's not what this story is.
Everything else is bullshit. I like that one kernel that they have in there. That's what you need to build the movie around, because that feels like a Wolverine type movie. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, that's what Logan is, right? In the end.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. So later they're just like, let's do a better Wolverine movie, and then they did. It was great.
You watch that Logan movie, and you're like, when there's the whole thing where Professor X's brain explodes in the hotel. You're like,
yeah,
this is a scene.
This stuff. Sure. Yeah.
This is a scene. Everything in this I like. Things are going haywire. Wolverine isn't just doing whatever he wants. He's limited in tons and tons of ways. This movie, Wolverine just like I killed everyone. I killed everyone. Answer this question. No, kill you or whatever.
No. Pass. Knives. Yeah.
His level of conflict in this movie, is it zero? I think it's zero.
I don't know if it's zero. I think there's one moment in this movie. One moment.
Okay.
It's when he realizes that everything was just to convince him to put the adamantium in his bones. Like when the first second when he realizes they killed his girlfriend lady just to come to this moment. There's some real acting there that I really liked.
Oh, okay.
That's it. It lasted 30 to 35 seconds, but I was like, there he is. There's Hugh. He's good, man.
I mean,
the guy can... Sorry, no, go.
He can acting. Even in this movie, his acting is fine. That's not the problem. The problem is that they don't put him he doesn't end up in any complex situations where he has to act or you know, 100%. I mean, he gets helped out by the old people and they get killed. And, this movie it's such a Hollywood movie that every scene you sort of dig into and get to, you're reminded of a scene that happens in another movie.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes you go like, and when Ma and Pa Kent get killed, you're like, you're reminded of the accountant when he's out on the farm.
Yeah. Yeah. I
rewatched that whole movie a month or two ago, and you're just like, yeah. everything about this movie is what a movie should be.
It's great. Everything is great. Can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, and this movie you watch and you're like, every choice, every path they go down, you're just like, oh, I mean, it's not terrible, it's not stupid, but it's just like it doesn't take us anywhere. There's just a dead end after dead end after dead end of no emotional stakes and no character stakes.
Which is weird because a lot of people, for as little emotional stakes as there are a lot of people that die close to the main character that you feel like there should be some, what is the word? Pathos? I feel like there should be some of that in here. There's not. There's really not.
Anything else you want to say before we start really digging in there?
Oh,
Tony?
yeah, before we just get our claws right in the meat of it. The only thing I want to say, right, is that I get it. And you watch the movie and you're like, yes, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is great. It works. It's wonderful. Let's put him in a real gosh darn movie for the love of God, because he's amazing. That's it. That's all that happened. When I watch this movie, that's how I feel. And I also feel like Liev Schreiber is one of my favorite actors, just hands down. I fucking love this guy. Terrible casting choice as Sabretooth, but great in the movie. And what I mean by that is Sabretooth is supposed to be like a 6'5" hulking massive guy to like be the opposite of Wolverine, who's like a small, stocky, badass. So that when they have their conflict, like but they're the same size human, which is fine. Yeah. But as a villain, and his acting is top notch, it should just not be Sabretooth. Maybe Wild Pitch, just give him someone else to be. I don't know.
Yeah. So we start the movie and we find out that they were kids together, and maybe they're half brothers. Maybe they have parents. Maybe the parents kill each other. Maybe one's rich and one's not rich. Maybe somebody cheated on somebody. We don't even
sure.
You don't know anything about that, and it's like, here we are. First scene of the movie is going to set up the central conflict of the entire movie. You're like, nope, we don't address any of this ever through the entirety of the movie.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, listen, terrible scene, just awful. That doesn't make any sense. Don't need to see it. It's literally nothing. It's a zero. And it's just confusing because you get two people that are being called father in the same scene in which neither of them are in. So it's the mom, or it's like one of the dads and then the two boys. And he's like, your father, your father, my mother. And I was like, who is who? I don't know. There's three adults. I don't know which one's which, if I'm being honest.
Like in the Spider-Man, and you have Uncle Ben and Aunt May, we don't ever really ask who's his real parent. We just understand that dude's Uncle Ben, that dude's Aunt May. He lives with the two of them. Eventually, Aunt May's going to be like the hottest woman on the planet. Okay, we get it. In this one, we're introduced to all these characters that mean nothing. And you're just like, what? Huh?
Yeah. I mean, the reason why Uncle Ben and Aunt May work is because you know who they are. Right? Yeah. Like, they're in the comics. They are a staple. These people are made up as far as I can tell. I'm sure they both have dads. I think. I don't know. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. Wolverine and Sabretooth, they shouldn't be related. First of all, that's weird. The whole thing's just weird. Don't put it in the movie.
Then we get this whole thing that basically the two of them are immortals.
Uh-huh.
Wolverine's claws are bones, and that's when I just shut the. I remember when I first saw this movie, I just shut off. I was just like, "What? No, they put a machine in him. That's the claws. The reason they put that machine in him is because he's got an adamantium skeleton, and he can. And it's like, does it hurt? There's a comic panel in there, where they're like, does it hurt when they come out? And he's like, yeah, of course,
every time.
Yeah, and. If that was part of his adaptation, that would not be the case.
Right. Yeah. It would just be normal. Right.
Yeah.
Also, like, that actually feels like a really bad power to just get bones that come out of you and are exposed to everything. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get fucked up.
Well, no, they're like dangerous bones. They're like better bones.
I understand that they're dangerous bones, but they're still just bones. Though bones break, bro. Like,
Well,
yeah,
well,
I can stab you with them, it seems, but if you come at me at an angle, I'm fucked. You're just gonna snap my bones in half. It
you
just feels weird.
know,
I
he's.
don't know.
It was interesting. I was reading about they have Gambit in this movie, and they were like,
Yeah.
well, Gambit can turn things into that, but of course also he's impervious to everything. Also,
Right, which is not right. It's just
I,
not
I
right
mean,
at all.
is that I read some Gambit comics, but I didn't read him when he was really the '90s when he was like a primary character.
Did you watch the cartoon?
No, I have not watched the new card. I mean, I maybe watched part of one of them. I was like,
But did you watch the 90s cartoon?
in the '90s? No.
Yeah, in the 90s. Okay, so
No.
so you didn't watch either of the cartoons. Okay, that explains a lot. So Gambit, his power is kinetic energy, right? He charges, he quote unquote charges things with kinetic energy, and then he just chose playing cards because apparently when you charge them, you can throw them like darts. I don't totally get that idea. I don't, but that's pretty much it. He could just charge things. He's not impervious to pain or anything. I don't know. It's weird.
These things to
They just kind of played fast
make
and loose.
them so that they could be able to fight each other. And like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it. They're just like, how can you keep up with Wolverine? Oh, you also have to be invulnerable.
So basically, they just like to change things whole cloth for these movies, and you're just like,
Yes.
are you? If there was like some great benefit for changing things whole cloth, you'd be like, okay, but you can't just give Gambit like magic powers because you don't want him to be knocked out when Wolverine hits him in the face.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the
It's
point.
weird. And it's weird because, I mean, we don't really do it anymore. Obviously, they're pretty faithful now, obviously. But at the time, it's just like every time you do that, it's worse. You never they never made something better. They have to know that. They have to know.
No, they always think they're making it better because this thing went through lots of reshoots and whatever. Okay, so he has the bony claws. We follow them through all these different, World War One, World War Two,
Just
Vietnam.
a horrible credit sequence. It's just what is with these cheesy still frames that they keep doing? I don't know. It's really ugly. I hate it.
And then like Vietnam, there's implications of Sabretooth's raping people, and then
Implications like almost too light. I know he doesn't do it, but he's got her on the bed and is like, like that's more than an implication. That's straight up It's Always Sunny because of the implication. Like that's dangerous stuff. It's weird.
And then you have Sabretooth and Wolverine surrounded by like 6 Marines who capture them.
Yep. I think they just let them capture him. Like that must be what it is because they could murder them in an instant. And also, let's talk about this for just 1 second.
1 second.
If you're on the beaches of Normandy, Dan, and you're one of the people running out of these boats, which seems like the worst thing in the history of the world, right? You're running out, boom, boom, boom. You get shot. I'm down. I'm laying on the beach, and I look to my left, and Wolverine is just running, getting shot all over the place, but still going. I would be so mad. I would be so mad that we sent me. This guy can't be killed, and you send me? Fuck you. That's all. Those would be my last thoughts. I'd be so mad.
As you bled out. Yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to complain to anybody.
I'd be up in heaven at the pearly gates being like, whoa, 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 send me back right now. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's just weird. And then they get captured, and then Stryker comes there and is like, you're just the boys I'm looking for.
Don't forget about the firing squad.
Do they firing squad them too?
Yeah, they're gonna kill him via firing squad. And Liev looks over and he goes, "Wake me when it's over."
Yeah,
which is a fun line, but like, what's happening? So then they just shoot him a bunch of times and then throw them back into a holding cell. At what point do they just kill everyone and run away? I don't get it.
You'd keep tying them up.
Right.
You'd be like, they're dead. You throw them in the dead pile, and then they'd wake up and
they wake up and just walk off. Yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre.
So here comes Stryker. Stryker's like, come on, it's the 60s. Let's join a team. and
It's the 60s.
and wear contemporary clothing. I mean, I'm assuming they were wearing contemporary clothing.
Yeah, they were for sure. Yeah.
So we cut. They're part of the team. The team is made up of Dominic Moynihan, who controls the electronics. Will I Am, who I guess can teleport. Sabretooth, who can run up a building.
Well, he grows snails. He grows his snails out, just like me, you know?
He's the guy you have running up a building to sit on top of a building?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
You have Ryan Reynolds as Wade Williams, who's going to be Deadpool, who has swords come out of his arms for no reason.
Not yet.
Oh, no, he uses swords.
He uses swords, and then they give him the swords inside of his arms, which, if you think about it, they're too long to do that, Dan. The swords that come out of his arm are longer than whatever what is this, radius and ulna, whatever it's too long. He'd be stiff-armed. He'd be like, this is how he would walk around, be like, what's wrong with your elbows? He'd be like, I got swords in them. I can't bend my arms anywhere. So stupid.
Then we got this one guy who's like Agent Zero, who's really good with a gun, can shoot people.
Yeah. Is that a real guy? I don't know who that is in the comics. I'm sure it's real, but
I didn't find him in the comics. I don't know if he's real.
I don't know.
So they're in Lagos. Oh, and then they have the Blob, who's just named Fred and hasn't become big. And there's a makeup we don't want to talk about.
Oh boy. But he's great. Let me just say, I love that actor. And he has fun with it, you know?
Yeah, everyone enjoys themselves. I mean, Will I Am's fine too, you know?
Is he fine? He's not great, though. Like, he's not, I wouldn't say he's good. I'd be like, okay, he's all right. But if I'm looking at this movie, he would not be the person that I'm like, yeah, you should work more. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. I know I'm not saying he should be fired, but you know, maybe one or two little parts here and there, but you're not going to have a career.
Will I Am background actor. So they're attacking Lagos. This guy in Lagos has some vibranium, which they're going to make into adamantium, and basically that's what they're there for. How they know that it's there, who knows?
Doesn't make much sense.
I mean, I think even the dude who has it doesn't even know what it is, right?
No, he said it's something like it was a gift or something. Like he doesn't know what it is. Yeah,
I just keep this on my table because I think it's cute or cool. And you're just like, well, then
cool. Yeah, it's like a fancy paperweight.
Yeah, they should be invading them like where they're like using that, you know, they're smelting vibranium into adamantium, and then they're like, oh, these guys, we found you shot somebody with one of these. But suffice it to say, we have this scene where it's like one guy does one thing, we have an elevator scene. Wade Williams goes like this with his swords and no one can shoot him. No, you don't. The elevator scene was terrible.
Oh no, I like the elevator scene. Let me tell you why. Because I like Ryan Reynolds in this part of the movie.
Yeah.
No, that was it. That was the whole explanation, Dan. I'm sorry.
Put it.
Were you expecting more? When I say I liked this, I just mean like it wasn't painful, and I was like, oh, this is a kernel again of something that you could have made a movie. Like, I don't mind Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's great in this role. Also, why you later on, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. Let's give him a real movie where he can do some stuff with it.
Yeah. But in the pantheon of elevator scenes,
sure,
it's terrible.
What's your favorite one? Is it the Chris Evans one? Oh no, I forgot the name of it. Disregard.
Oh, you mean a Winter Soldier?
No, I mean that is a good one. First of all,
that's the best elevator fight scene. Yeah.
There's this one where he's listening to "Don't Stop Believin'" and he's going up the elevator, and someone's like picking people off while he's singing. He's pretending to be the delivery guy. It's really great. It's Saldana is in it. I think it's Idris Elba. It's based on a comic book. I can't remember.
Oh, the Blink one? No, not that one.
Chris Evans, Zoe Saldana movie. The Losers. It's called The Losers, and it's a great movie. 2010. It also has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Sexiest Man Alive.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen that one or not.
Yeah, you should see it just for that scene. It's a really fun scene.
But my favorite elevator scene, which isn't the elevator scene, but it's the same scene, is the Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn and all. Just the jokes in that one. James Gunn with that type. If you give him a James Gunn a classic scene, he's going to plus it up till it works exactly how it's supposed to work. This thing is just like throw in an elevator scene because it doesn't make we got nothing because it'll be funny. You're like, well, yeah, okay, the jokes are fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
So
so we get out of the elevator, and then apparently Deadpool's power is some sort of really fast sword twirling, so he can stop every bullet ever shot at him,
and he can cut them down in the air too.
That's not it. That's not what he does. I don't know. But also, let me ask you a question, Dan.
Ask me a question. I'll have an answer.
You've got a team of people that can all do certain things. One of them, whose name is Logan, cannot die by bullets. One of them, Wade Wilson, can die by bullets, but apparently has very fast swords. Which one are you going to send into the room? Maybe the guy that, even if he does get shot, is going to be fine? I would think that would be my choice.
Tell you, yes, you're correct. But here's my bigger point is Stryker's in the elevator with them.
Okay, what's your bigger point?
Stryker,
not only
normal human being is in the elevator with them, and more importantly, Sabretooth's on the roof for an unknowable reason. Sabretooth could have just climbed up the thing, gone through the window, killed the guy, brought him the rock. I mean, and I'm reminded of Civil War, where we have the beginning one in that, which is Cap, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. And we see them execute just everyone's there for a reason. Everyone does something. Things are constantly happening. At one point, they go from point A to point B, and Captain America's just there. And you say to yourself, well, he just got there. Some captain, he like jumped on top of the car. You don't go like, well, how did he get 17 miles away? You're like, well, of course he had time to get there.
Yes.
So we don't have to see what he's, everything is 4 characters are working in parallel lines as opposed to it's parallel lines versus straight line. This is a straight line battle where one person does one thing one at a time, and it's nothing.
But they're also the wrong people. Not only are they all doing their own jobs, but they're doing the wrong jobs. Like they just picked, it's as if they picked straws and were like, well, I would be better at this. He's like, but I got the short straw, bro. You can't go against the straw, so I'm going to do it even though I might die. It's ridiculous.
Yes, Sabretooth literally on top of the building.
Just wasted. Just absolutely wasted. Yeah.
You send him off to do the whole perimeter. You're like, Sabretooth, go kill everyone on the perimeter. He's like,
and then he does. He's back in minutes.
He's just back. He's spending 10 minutes killing everyone in the whole compound. He comes back and he's got like 3 guys' heads, and he's like, everyone is dead.
Great stuff.
Oh, so we get the thing. Then we go, where's the meteor? They go to the meteor place. They have the whole village already on their knees. And then Wolverine's like, stop killing people. I'm friendly Wolverine. I'm just leaving. And then everyone's like, oh, he's leaving. Okay.
I guess my favorite part is Liev Schreiber gets a nice line where he's like, we can't just let you walk away. As he's walking away and nobody stops him. They just start yelling, Logan, I said you can't walk away. Why are you still walking? I can't believe it. Doesn't matter. Why give that line? You can't give the line if you're not going to follow up with it immediately. It's so weird. It drives me absolutely crazy when they do that.
They gave you the line, Tony. The line you dreamt about.
It's my favorite line. And then he's mid walking away when he says it. Oh, boy.
6 years later, Logan is living in the Canadian Rockies. He's got a sexy girlfriend. Their first kiss, super terrible. Their second kiss in front, better.
Sometimes people like an audience, Dan.
He works as a lumber dude.
Lumber dude. That's a good title. I would like to make that my job, please.
We cut away. Dominic Moynihan is working in the carnival, and Sabretooth shows up and kills him. Don't you think we should have not known that was Saber? Because we kind of set up this fake narrative that Sabretooth is killing the old team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All these kind of narratives they set up are like so thin.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, Sabretooth's going to be out there killing the old team under his own volition. What?
Well, if anything, it should be a multi-step reveal. You know what I mean? Like, Moynihan should die, and we're like, who's killing off the old team? And then Logan figures out that it's Sabretooth, and he's like, wait, why are you doing it? And then we find out it's not Sabretooth, it's actually the guy that was bad all along. Like, at least then it's a mystery throughout, but then this is like, it's Sabretooth. Why would he be doing this? This doesn't make any sense. And then we go 20 minutes before we're like, okay, he's working with Stryker. What's happening? This is dumb. I don't know. At least keep me guessing.
And more importantly, why is he... So he's doing it to trick Wolverine into joining the thing to find out who's killing the Supes?
They're just stealing everyone's powers, but in order to do that, they're also like executing them. I think
but all the young
reason.
Ones they kept. Why don't they just take him into, Sabretooth could just walk out there and go like this, bam, and take him.
Sure, I see what you're saying. I don't know, man.
Okay,
this movie doesn't make sense.
Wolverine has nightmares. He cuts the girlfriend. Her name is Silver Fox. She comforts him even though cut. Stryker shows up at the lumberyard. There's Agent Zero with him, and he's all like, "You gotta come work for us." And he's like, "Go after yourself."
Yep. Yeah. Great.
Goes to get the girlfriend who works at a school. Then he sort of almost has a fight with guys on the bridge, and then she sort of calms him and calms them, and everyone's calmed. And you're like, "Oh,
did you know she had powers right then?" Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
They told you.
It's too obvious.
Yeah.
Well, because I think the problem is Logan goes, "How did you do that?" If you take that line out, I think it's fine. I don't think I would know. Because the female persuasion, she might be able to subdue a fight between two dudes. You know what I mean? But they made it very obvious. And then again, the whole time I was like, well, why was she a mutant? Why is she a mutant if they're just going to kill her? When is that going to come back? And then it does come back, and then I'm not surprised.
You're correct. But I want to also talk to the bigger thing of what are Logan's powers?
Regeneration.
Yep. Keep going.
Good looks. Is that one of them? What else does he have?
Height and speed.
Smell. And smell, right? And strength.
Smell.
He's strong. He's fast, strong, smells. He's, because he's an animal.
And what do they say at one point very early on in this thing? What does he use that smell to do? Tell if someone's telling the truth or lying.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
What can he
use? Good point. Because he says that in, what was it, Lagos?
Yes.
When they're talking to the dude, and he's, yeah, that's right. You're right. I actually forgot about that.
And he can smell everything. So if somebody's been with somebody, he can smell that. He should smell everything. Like you come in there and you've been if you've been cavorting with cats and you come in there to your dog is going to know you've been out there cavorting with cats. Isn't that dog going to be able to know that instantaneously?
Both know that, to be honest with you, because when I go somewhere with a dog and I come back, my cat is pissed. He is mad at me.
Animals' senses are powerful, and Wolverine is supposed to have the best senses of anyone, I think, on the planet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And if you look at all the, in a lot of ways, you can't be duplicitous around him. She kind of can because she can control him a bit,
Sure. Yeah.
But Stryker and all those people who've been around other people, they can't do that. He'll smell them.
Yeah.
But we don't ever
smell them.
We never play
funny
with
way
that.
Of putting it, though.
They have sexy time. She tells this whole story about the moon, and she gives him the name Wolverine. That's the name we're going to give you.
I love it.
Out there logging, Victor stops Silver Fox. Logan smells him from miles away, right? Doesn't he smell him from miles away?
He does, yeah. And then he just starts running through the woods.
He runs there, gets there. Silver Fox is dead, which we're to find out later is she was working for Stryker, and they gave her a magic pill, which makes his senses unable to tell that she's, I'm sorry. He is an animal. He knows if she's living or dead. But whatever.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough stuff. Maybe he's just so emotional he's not paying attention.
So, boom, he goes to a bar where Sabretooth is, and they fight, and Sabretooth just kicks his ass.
Let me ask you a question, Dan. Almost unrelated to what you just said.
Yep.
So Sabretooth, when he hears Logan coming up, he turns to the bar owner guy and he's like, "Do you have insurance on this place?" Which is like a fun line. But the guy says no. Is that possible? Don't you have to have insurance? I don't think that's legal.
Well, first of all, this is probably in the 70s.
All right. Well, I guess maybe, yeah. I guess I don't know the laws back then. It just seemed weird to me that he would say no. Like, I understand they're going for the joke of it, but he should just say yes. Be like, of course I have insurance on my bar, just in case it burns the fuck down.
What's the joke he should have said?
Oh, I don't know. Do you have insurance on your face?
No, he should have said.
That's what I would have said back to you.
I think I don't have enough.
Not enough is a great answer. That's a great answer. You know what's a bad answer? No, I don't. I just fly by the seat of my pants, even though I put my entire life's investment into this bar, most likely.
And you know why that's a bad answer? Because it makes you think a bunch of questions about this poor dude. That
right,
can't
in the
have
middle of
this
scene, in the middle of this fight scene, all I'm thinking about is this guy's bar and how fucked he is in his life.
And that is exactly why you yes and is because this is a different reason why he would yes and. He yes and that to raise the stakes for himself, but I don't know. That's interesting, isn't it?
But he's not a part of the scene. Like, we're not going to come back to him and see him 3 weeks later trying to rebuild his entire life. Well, that'd be a fun cutaway.
That'd be a good cutaway. So they have a big fight, and Wolverine is just beyond outclassed by Sabretooth. And the reason is because for the last 6 years, Wolverine's gone soft.
Yeah, because of all the loving.
Shouldn't they have given him like a punch or something? But I guess he didn't.
Yeah, give him like
have
a
time
dad
to work
bod.
it off.
Little dad bod, yeah.
I don't know.
He can pull it off, man. You could pull anything off. Are you kidding me?
Did you think that he should be worse than Sabretooth at this point?
No, and mostly because if he's working as a lumberjack, he's still in shape AF. Like, that's not easy work. He's carrying trees everywhere.
He's chopping down trees, and I don't know. It just seemed really like a weird. There should have been like a trick. It should have been a trick. He should have cheated or something. He should have sucker punched him or caught him off guard or done things that because when he kills Will.i.am, he's like, you said something about Wolverine where he's all like, we've been fighting since we were kids, and there's one thing I know about you is you're dumb when it comes to the outhouse, and there's an outhouse there, and, he drops the outhouse on him or something.
Great. Yeah. No, I mean, it should be, but it's not. I won't worry about it.
No reason.
They don't want to think that hard, Dan.
We do a wake up in the hospital thing. Really stupid. There's Stryker, and he's all like, I'm gonna. Oh man, I wrote down all these words. Locked him up. Oh, no. He went. Oh, he. Sabretooth went too far and was lying, so I locked him up, and then he went AWOL, and then he's gonna kill us all, and you have to find him, and you have to kill him, and I've got the tools.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How are you supposed to buy any of this? If Sabretooth wanted to kill Stryker, he'd have just fucking walked up and killed Stryker 24/7 anytime he wants.
Well, listen, Stryker is not killable. this guy clearly he puts himself in danger all the time. We saw it in that first scene, right? He doesn't care about nothing. He's fine.
Base, I'm going to make you indestructible. I'm going to make you into Weapon X. And then they put him in the thing, and then they squirt him full of adamantium.
Squirt him? That's a gross way to put it.
And he wakes up, and then he runs away, and he jumps naked, and he runs away.
Did I miss? I think I missed something. Well, he ran away because he overheard Stryker say that they were gonna use his DNA or something.
Yeah, because that's what we
something like that.
And you're like, and on the planet, if you're good, you're just there to steal. You know, there's this whole sort of disconnect at this point where like you've given him unlimited power, and now you're surprised that he has unlimited power.
Right. Well, isn't that how it always works, Dan?
No, no, that's not how it always works.
Maybe it's more they're surprised that he's using it against them because he's like, I gave you a gift. Why would you be so rude about it? You know?
But I mean, they basically gave him a gift to go kill Sabretooth, and they know, and they don't need Sabretooth killed.
Well, that part's true. Yeah. It's not a good plan. Hold on. I'm not defending the plan. I'm not saying like, you know what, Stryker, this guy's got it together. Okay.
You're like Stryker's team. You're like Stryker.
I'm pro Stryker. Yeah.
You're like, this is the best plan in any
comic
guy.
I would follow movie. This guy anywhere. This guy's got his head screwed on right.
It's just like
God.
When they set up the world's dumbest plans, you're just like, come on, can't we just have like a plan that makes some sense? You know, because I think
in this movie you can't.
In the real comic books, they're just trying to make Weapon X, which is like the weapon they need, you know, the government needs, and they think they're going to be able to control the guy, and surprise, surprise, you can't control the guy.
And you can't. Yeah. Yep, that's correct. Similar to this movie, but different.
So he runs away. Agent Zero's going to go hunt him. So he goes out and finds Ma and Pa Kent, who like living out there, and he hides in the barn, and then they make him sleep in the barn, and then they give him some food, and then they, you know, are about to give him their kid is dead from being something.
Right. What a weird backstory that is unnecessary, but we just put in there for some weird reason. Like their kid is dead. And they're sad about it, but like this guy is the exact same size as their kid, so they keep giving him their dead kid's clothes, which just brings, first of all, how big was their son? He's like 6'4", ripped as shit. Like, what did he do? Who is this guy? I'm so interested in the son right now. I forget what's going on in this movie because he's got a cool motorcycle, he's got sweet clothes, and he was jacked as shit. What happened to this kid? Why are you talking about him so much if you're not going to tell me at least what happened? Give me a sob story about what happened, at least.
And weren't they like? I mean, literally, they were about to give him the motorcycle, right?
100%, 100%. They were just about to, and then this poor woman gets shot through the chest.
And then the husband gets shot, and then Wolverine has to fight against Agent Zero on a helicopter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's not bad.
It's fine. It's not a great looking scene, you know?
I guess people complained about the CGI. I mean, it looked okay on a computer screen.
On a 15-inch laptop, it looks okay. You should try seeing this in the theaters, Dan. It did not look good.
His claws generally look pretty bad. They look pretty
we didn't even talk about that. Oh, when he's in the bathroom, Dan, when he gets to Mom Pa Kent's and he's in the bathroom and he takes them out, they're huge. They are huge. They look like giant butcher knives. They're so much bigger than they are at any other time in the rest of the movie. It is bizarre. And then he's like clanging them together and it just looks so bad. It's embarrassing.
Well, you know why he was clanging them together? Because he had to show that he could light a fire with them. Because he has to light a fire later.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point. Maybe find a different way to do it.
Tony.
Because this don't look good.
how do you make fire with metal?
Spark.
No.
Right? That counts.
You have a flint and steel. And what happens is the steel is hitting the flint, which is more like a rock, and it's chipping off that rock. And then I think the heat of that is then igniting the little piece of flint, which is a little bit flammable, and you get a spark, right? But
I wasn't very good at Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we know. As you hit that, the flint chips off and gets smaller, right? When you're hitting two adamantium together, I really do not believe that's going to... Why would that cause fire?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Because of science, Dan. To be fair, you've never worked with adamantium, so you don't really know the properties of it.
That's true, I don't.
Unlike some of us who know it really well.
He cut an APC in half. He jumped on one. It shot him up. After I kill Victor, I'm coming for you. And then Zero laughs about killing Monpok. And
which is a weird... I don't know. Look how evil he is. I don't know. It's real dumb.
He's super not evil. He's super like, I'm just, he's like, I'm the boring Yakuza. You're like, this guy's not, he's not a good character. Not that the dude didn't have anything to play with, but it's just kind of like,
not his fault. Yeah, it's real dumb.
So Striker has a gun with adamantium, and his idea is that you can shoot him with that, and that'll kill him, or at least wipe his memory,
or at least it'll penetrate.
Shoot him in the memory. Now, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I shoot Wolverine in the head. The bullet goes into his thing. I guess breaches the adamantium. So then the adamantium's going to have a hole in it from now on forever. Right?
Right, because the adamantium doesn't heal itself. That's not a property of adamantium as far as I know.
You'd have to go to Wakanda and get them to fix you at some point.
Or just like a little Botox injection, right? Just fill in that little gap there.
With Botox, not adamantium. And then the bullet goes in.
It's a facsimile of a Botox. You just put a little adamantium in a syringe, squeeze it in. Just a little touch-up.
They said that 2 kids killed themselves after this movie because they injected themselves with mercury hoping to get Wolverine bones.
Wait, but that's, first of all, it's not his bones.
Well,
is that real?
It became his bones. Yeah, it fused with his bones.
It covers his bones. Yeah. But mercury doesn't do that.
Well, these are kids.
What kind of kids? Like, what age are we talking?
Not too bright.
All right. I mean, I don't want to talk. That's very sad. And
Isn't that horrible?
It is horrible, but also not to, defend things, but like not the movie's fault, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Movies put things into people's minds, and they do.
Well, the comics did it first. Blame the comic books.
Yeah, it's what the comic books. Scott Summers. We set up that he's in school and can't take off his glasses. Okay.
And he's in regular school? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because this is pre him going to Savior's School. But I don't quite know how he has the red glasses in normal school.
Right, exactly. Like who made those for him?
The idea is that you have to pick him up because that's the whole thing is your mutant power comes out as you mature. And so as you cross
it's puberty.
Adolescent threshold, then it comes out, and then you start shooting people with your red beams, and then you have to put him somewhere.
Apparently just in regular school with homemade glasses. I don't know.
Yep. Somebody just thought to make these glasses for him.
He went to the eye doctor, and the guy's like, I've seen this before. Yeah, let me get you some of these red ruby glasses here.
So his plan is to go seek out all the old members. So he goes to see Will.i.am, who has a gym. The Blob is there. Supposedly the Blob knows because he's keeping in touch with people. And then he's like, the Blob has put on weight. And so what happens is Wolverine goes out there and immediately starts joking on his weight and calls him Bub, which he thinks he said Blob, even though he worked with Wolverine for years, and Wolverine always calls everybody Bub, and he would understand that he calls him Bub because they worked together for years.
It's not a
years.
new thing. He didn't adapt to that. It's not like, now that it's the 70s, I'm gonna call people Bub. Like, he's always done it. That's just the way. That's his vernacular.
Now, why does he just antagonize him from minute one for no reason?
Well, because Wolverine's an asshole. Haven't you seen the rest of the movie where he's just a horrid human being? I was being sarcastic, Dan.
Oh, you
were
wow, sarcasm. It worked.
Sarcasm. Yeah, no, I don't understand at all. It's a total switch of who this guy's been the entire movie.
You can make mistakes. The Bub Blob thing, you're like, well, I suppose it's not the worst of it.
It's a stretch, but I'll buy it, I guess.
But 2 or 3 other times, he totally says things just to antagonize it.
Yes, on purpose. Here's what I'll say. Fat people, they'll make you angry.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm trying to defend my boy Hugh.
Oh, I was watching this. There's this guy Richard Osman who wrote the Midnight Murder Book Club books, which they're making. Netflix is making the movie right now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I read that book.
Pierce
the first
Brosnan.
one.
Yeah, he's like a super tall guy. He's like 6'7", and we were watching him on this YouTube channel where people trying to talk about their traumas, and he's like, the thing about it is when you're different. Every day of your life, people point out that you're different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so he's like, I get it 5 times a day. How's the weather up there? I'm being funny. He's a comedian too. So he's just like.
Sure, of course.
I don't know why I told that story. I just thought it was really interesting to think about that sort of aspect of it where it's just like, your entire life is an endless barrage of getting shit on you. And then Wolverine just goes in there and shits on him.
And then your old friend, comes and just piles on because he's just a bully. Wolverine the bully.
It's weird. It was a bad scene.
Yeah, it's super weird.
They fight and he knocks him out with his head. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't
know. He wins. He's like, where's Victor? And he's like, He's on the island. Like, oh, I don't know where the island is. Okay. They capture Cyclops. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Then he's got to go find Remy, who's the only guy who's ever gotten off of the island.
Sure.
I think they go to Vegas. Is that where they go? Vegas?
Yes. Yeah. I was
not
like,
Vegas.
I think they
No, not New Orleans. That's what I meant. They go to New Orleans.
That's where Remy is. But they were in Vegas for something because we see the Welcome to Vegas sign in this movie.
I don't think so.
I know so because I paused it right on it. That's where I stopped for the night and then watched the rest this morning.
When were we in Vegas?
I don't know, but it's in the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, Remy's in New Orleans.
Okay, so I go to New Orleans. He meets him. And then, meanwhile, John's like, oh, I'll cover the back. And then Sabretooth is there. Is he within a mile of Wolverine?
Well, but, he's in a club, so his olfactory senses are overloaded.
Nailed
it.
Sabretooth just kills John.
Okay, so this is the part. No, not okay. This drives me crazy. Sabretooth, vicious killer, right? He's killing off the team. Will.i.am sees him. His power is teleportation.
Yes.
All you do is you teleport in, you say, hey, Wolverine, your brother's here, and then that's it. You half a second, you just saved your own life. He would never try to face off against Sabretooth because he can't beat him.
You mean you don't think Nightcrawler automatically goes and fights the big bad? He just goes there and steals his helmet so someone else can fight him?
Exactly. He zips around, pop, 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 does a little trickery, and then he's out because he doesn't do fist to fist.
Fist to fist. Fist to fist.
Hand to hand. That's hand to hand combat.
Fist
Fist combat. That's what we call it, baby.
So yeah, so he just, he's like, John's like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, blink here, blink there, blink, little punch, blink, little punch, blink, little. I mean, like a guy that blinks is never going to take out Colossus or Wolverine
No.
or anyone
Oh.
else. I mean, you can make it comical, like Deadpool, kicks Colossus in the nuts and punches him in the face. That's funny because you're in a funny movie.
Yeah.
But that's not really you're not gonna attack Colossus.
No, that would be a dumb move.
You will lose. You're
definitely going to lose. And you deserve to lose if you decide to make that fight.
And then he's like, Saber just reaches out and kills him and is like, you're predictable. Because he knew he was going to pick somewhere. Wow. I mean, all Sabretooth has to do is wave his arm around like that. John will appear and then he'll have
Right. Like, oops. Yeah, it's dumb. Bad fight. At what point, somewhere in this scene, I think it's before they go in, Will.i.am and Wolverine have a conversation, and he's like, what, you think I'm going to fight him? This is what happens. And then Will.i.am goes, don't dogs kill cats? I just want to talk about that for just 1 second, because no, they don't. Full stop. That's not something that they do. Maybe sometimes that's probably happened, but he's saying you're definitely going to fight him, just like dogs will always kill cats. That is wrong. That is not. Dogs and cats get along all the time. In fact, in most situations, the cat is actually bullying the dog because the cat's faster, and he swaps him in the nose and then runs away and climbs up a tree. It's just a terrible line. It really made me mad. I wanted to bring it up.
Okay, Remy. So Remy comes up behind him and Wolverine like bams him in the face.
Yeah, which is funny. It's a funny little scene because he's like, I spent 2 years in that hellhole. I ain't going back. And then he just knocks him out, which is a funny bit.
And then I think the two of that, then Wolverine starts to fight Sabretooth, and then Gambit's then on a roof running with a pole.
Yeah. Hold on. We do have to talk about real quickly, Dan. This is my favorite line of the movie. He knocks out Remy, and then Liev gives him a little smile, and he says, do you even know how to kill me? Yeah. And Logan says, I'm going to cut your goddamn head off. See if that works. That is my favorite Wolverine line ever written.
Oh, really? Okay.
I quote it all the time. I love it. Oh. It's delivered perfectly. It's a nice little scene between the two of them. Yeah, that's it. I just want to say that. I really love it. It's my favorite part.
So I just wrote Gambit battle is so dumb. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, so Gambit, and then he like jumps off the roof and kinetic energies his bow and slams the ground or something, and then he's swinging it. Wolverine cuts it in half. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad, Ted.
So basically, this is your classic good guys fight each other, and then they team up, and then Remy has a plane,
which is
and they
crazy.
They fly to
like, why does he have a plane?
Here's the guy. It's like your classic. Who do we have to fly him to the island? Gambit.
Yeah, why?
Gambit.
What?
The pilot.
When is he a pilot? Such
like
a weird choice.
So Gambit flies him to the thing, and then they're working on Weapon 11, who somehow Stryker just controls, like with a computer. He's like, he just has to. He's going to have eventually have to type in
word commands. Decapitate, which, I mean, first of all, he wrote that very fast. It's impressive because I couldn't even spell decapitate on the first try. But what a weird, it doesn't make, because here's why it's strange, right? Is like he's giving very specific one-word commands and yet controlling him entirely. So I don't understand how that really works. Like it feels like, I don't know. It's a very strange relationship.
When I was a kid, I watched this show called Giant Robot, which is like a Japanese one. And that little kid was in control of the giant robot. And he was like, giant robot power punch. And so
great, yeah.
Each thing you had to tell the giant robot to do. And you loved it as a kid, but you watch it as an adult and you're like,
wow. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so he welcomes Logan. Stryker welcomes Logan back, and then he tells him the plan. I needed your powers for the pool, the dead pool. And then
Horrible.
the woman Silver Fox, she appears behind him, and you're like, he would have smelled her.
Yes, this time he definitely would have smelled her.
Not in a bar.
She is exactly. This is like a sterile workplace for science, and she is within 3 feet of him. He would have smelled her coming a mile away.
She should have controlled people through pheromones. Isn't there somebody that controls people through pheromones?
Oh, there's got to be. What a sexy power.
That's how it should be. And see, her pheromone power should confuse him. He should be like,
that's what Poison Ivy does in Batman, right? Doesn't she do that? Or she's through the kiss? She's through kiss.
Poison Ivy.
All right, keep going.
Poison Ivy, it's all plant-based.
Yeah. She like controls Batman and Robin, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's because she kisses them. And then, yeah, that's right. Because then someone puts on rubber lips and like peels them. Oh, fuck. That's a good movie. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Whoa, we'll have to do that for the podcast. No, it's a good one.
So he's like, don't be angry with her. Your love wasn't real. Hey, you're like, was it? But it supposedly was real. I don't know.
Yeah, it is real because she fell for him a little bit, but her sister was in trouble.
Here's my favorite line of the movie, which it's not. It's the one I hated the most.
Uh-oh.
He says, I should have known. I ignored my instincts. What are you talking about?
Which instincts were those, buddy?
If you're going to say I instinctually had problems with it, he should have had instinctual problems
Somebody should have, they should have showed us that at some point because he seemed fully into it. I don't know.
Except that one kiss. That one kiss kind of weak, but in front of the dudes.
Maybe that's the tip. Maybe that was the point where he's like, I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll do it.
In front of the boys.
My boys.
Gotta show
boys,
man.
Watch this.
So then what does he do after all of this?
He just leaves. Just walks away. Just like, all right, well, this has been fun. Thanks for having me over. Give me a call. And he walks out the door.
Didn't he say he was going to kill Stryker? But it's like one of those classic cases. I mean, the greatest Arnold Schwarzenegger. When I told you I was going to kill you last, I lied. Because of course you're gonna kill your target of opportunity if he's standing right there.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
So he leaves.
But nah, he just goes home. He's just like, nah, deuces, everybody, I'm out.
Silver Fox is like, let my sister go. My sister, you mean Emma, your sister, whose skin can turn into diamonds? And then, of course, I read the whole thing, and it's like, that's not Emma Frost. That's like a different Emma who has the same powers.
It's a different Emma that also turns to diamonds? That feels like a weird choice. Why would they do that?
They just made that decision afterwards because it didn't make any sense that her sister could be Emma Frost.
Well, okay, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense. A little retcon. Okay.
This is Emma Frost. See, scared blonde. I'm like, what is happening? Why? So stupid.
I mean, they don't know why. They're just trying to put in as many references as they can. They, logic be damned.
Victor's back there. He's like, give me the adamantium. And then Stryker's like, you can't handle the adamantium. And then Sabretooth goes out there and Wolverine's like, using us. Oh no, grabs her and then she screams and then Wolverine's like, oh no, he's in there. Sabretooth is in there. You're like, oh, now you figured out the Sabretooth is in there?
I don't know. Yeah.
And they fight, and Wolverine just wins. And then we get the greatest thing ever.
Pretty handedly, too.
Because he's adamantium now, which makes him better. That's the only thing that makes him better than Sabretooth. And he's all like, do it, kill me, finish it. And then he just punches him and knocks him out. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate when the person, like, Sabretooth doesn't want to die. Why would he want to die?
Sure doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't want to die at all.
He wants to rape more people and kill more people and have fun. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, those are his activities. He wants to do them.
And then Silver Fox comes out and she's like, "They have my sister, and our love was real." And they turn on Deadpool. He goes and frees the kids. Kalis,
hilariously dramatic shot of him running down and adamantiing all of the lot. Like, it's so dramatic. It's ridiculous.
Then he gets stopped by Deadpool, sword hands, no mouth Deadpool. And what is Wolverine's plan for taking out Deadpool?
I don't know. What is it? Just fight him? He climbs up something.
Climb up the cooling tower of 3 Mile Island. Why does he do that?
I don't know. It doesn't work out all that well, though, to be honest.
And then
Sabretooth wasn't there. He would have lost.
He starts fighting him, and then he starts losing, and then Sabretooth shows up, and then they fight together, and slowly Deadpool goes from sword to hands to healing to Cyclops eyes to blink, and then they finally just cut off his head, and his head falls down and
spins around with his eyes open, still giving the concussive blast. Very strange.
And then Sabretooth's just like, "Peace out," jumps.
Yeah.
Then Wolverine like hangs out for a while, and then he gets down, and then the thing's about to fall on him, and who? Millennium Falcon's out of the past. Deadpool.
Gambit. Remy LeBeau.
He goes over.
Remember when they were going to do a Channing Tatum Gambit movie? Remember that? Remember those rumors?
No.
That'd have been cool. I would have watched the shit out of that. Although I don't know what he looks like with hair.
I think Gambit's...
Because Remy's got, like, hair.
Gambit's a terrible character, right?
I like Gambit. Gambit's like, he's that guy that, like, maybe sexually harasses Rogue 24/7 and is, I guess, charming, but in, like, a really creepy way. And then, he's just kind of a pig-headed asshole. I love him. He's great.
So you think that is a character that can run a movie? Right in the center.
No, I do not, which is why it has not happened. I don't think you can make that character into like a leading man, but I like him as a side character. It's fun color.
Yeah. Okay, let's hurt. Then Stryker shoots, runs, but hits him in the head. So he just shoots Wolverine a bunch of times in the head. Shoots him in the
twice, I believe.
Yeah. And then Silver Fox is not dead yet, and she grabs Stryker, and she's like, "Walk until you can't walk anymore, and then try walking some more."
Now, how come, like, he can just stop?
He didn't stop. They got stopped by the cars.
Right. Like, someone came behind him, and then he just stops. Is that how it works?
Well, I mean... I was thinking about it, and he's on an island, right? So,
sure.
If you tried to walk off of an island, you're going to walk into the ocean, and if you're just walking, you're not swimming, you die.
Oh yeah, 100% true.
Actually, does a human being sink, or does a human being float? I guess that's a question.
I mean, technically we float, but you'd have to be like breathing properly for that to happen, right? Because people drown all the time.
It's just so weird. Why would you say that to him?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
You're going to leave this island and you're going to go as far away as... it's like... I understand what you're saying, but it's like such a dumb thing. I don't know.
Well, my question... I just don't understand how the power works. Like, she influences you by touching you. When she stops touching you, does she still have power over you? I don't know. Because when those army dudes roll up to him, he just stops walking. Oh, I don't know either.
Professor X comes.
I would walk 1,000 miles.
Professor X comes in a helicopter to save the kids. Now, was that helicopter? Was that?
You froze right at the wrong moment.
Again.
Wait, I heard you.
Oh, good. I'm back. Oh, we hadn't. Okay. They hadn't hired what's his name yet, had they? The new Professor X. They just de-aged the old Professor X.
McAvoy. Yeah, they tried. Yeah, didn't look great.
Okay, whatever.
Weird. I don't know. Yeah.
So Wolverine wakes up and because he got shot in the brain, and he died, his memories are all gone. And I guess maybe they come
Yeah.
back someday. I don't know, but that's the whole idea. And then Gambit's there, and Gambit's like, "Who am I?" And then Gambit's like, "Your name is Logan." Why did they tell him his name was Logan?
Because I think that's what everyone's been calling him. Because he barely knows him, right?
Oh, so
I don't
at
know.
Lumbertown they called him Logan?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Lumbertown.
Well, he sees Kayla, she's dead, and he's like, Gambit's like, "Do you know her?" He's like, "Nope, I'm gonna leave." You know,
Yeah,
okay.
he's like, okay, well, I'll see you around, pal.
And that's the end. It's just like
Yeah,
it's so
dumb.
It's like all these things to sort of set up why he would be in the Yukon fighting in the thing, yada 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 yada.
Which also doesn't make sense. Like, I still don't totally understand it, but I also don't care. You know?
What don't you understand?
Why would he then go fight in a bar fight just because he doesn't know who he is and he needs money? I guess is the. How does he know that he's invincible? Like, how would he at first be like, yeah, I should go fight people? You know what I
I'd
mean?
figure that out pretty quick.
Would you?
I would.
I might be invincible. I don't know. I've never fought anybody. I could, but I don't want to risk it. You see what I'm saying?
It's true. You could have adamantium bones, you know?
I have no idea, but I'm not going to find out. All right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't
know. Did
So
you
the
watch
movie
the
ends,
post-credit
and there's-
scene, Dan?
Yeah, you got Stryker being stopped, and then you got Deadpool picking up his head and saying something to his head or
And
something.
going, he just did this. Shh. Terrible. Why would he say shush? Why is he shushing people? That doesn't make any sense, man.
I don't know. This movie, it's fine. It's
It's not great though.
Having watched it a second time, you're just like, yeah, there's zero I would ever go back to this movie to watch again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There's no fight scene that I'm, it's like I said, I watched that Civil War fight scene. Great fight scene. You watch the fight scenes from the fight scene. It's sort of on a bridge in the middle of Captain America, in the middle of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You can just watch that fight scene and you're just like, everything.
Yeah, it's cool.
Everything about this fight scene I like. This is action that you want to see. You enjoy. Yeah. Everything makes sense. The characters are all doing their thing, and it feels exciting. You feel like there's jeopardy. You feel like it's going to lead somewhere. When Winter Soldier comes out and you're like, oh, I love this character.
I love it.
A gun feels like it can do something, like it means something in the world.
Yes, sir.
And I remember in X-Men, in X2, X1, the first X-Men was fine. It was like, okay, this is, whatever.
I like it.
It's kind of weird. Yeah. Then we get to X2, and you're all like, whoa, things are happening in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, X2 is great. Like, they really stepped it up. But I still really like the first one, too.
Oh, okay.
It holds a nostalgic place in my heart.
Yeah, that's fine. But X2 is like a real movie. You're like, this is a movie that does all the movie things, moving along. This one, you're like...
Moving right along.
Well, you lost all that. That's all gone.
Yeah, nobody cares
It's
anymore.
Just Wolverine being immune to everything and being immune to both the world.
Emotionally and physically.
And that does not a good movie make typically.
No, it doesn't.
Anything else to say about this gem you picked, Tony?
No, it's good to revisit it. I had a good time with it, and I'll probably never watch it again.
Oh, well. Yeah. Now we talk about something we like this week.
You got to tell us what you saw, because I didn't hear it.
Crime-tastic. It's a
Crime-tastic.
It's a show on YouTube, and the centerpiece of they're talking about old crimes, and the centerpiece is a long interrogation, which is often an hour long or more. And they just they'll talk, like this one guy drove 50 hours across the country, killed his mom, and then drove all the way back and then tried to act like he had never been there. and the cops go in there and they're all like, they have photos of his car driving across the country. They have video of him buying the burner phone that he was calling his mom on. They have video of him stealing her dog, and then you just get this hour where the person just lies and lies and lies and lies and lies, and then the police slowly keep telling them all the things they know, and it's are these big cases? No, they're just like really dumb murder cases. Stupid kid murders his mom and then gets his two stupid friends to help him stage it to look like a robbery, but these people think that they're smarter than police, and they've all seen Dateline and all these shows.
Yeah, of course.
The one kid's like, he's like a junior police officer. He's doing like, scouts for police, and still he somehow thinks that he's smarter than these guys. And the cops just like, they just set trap after trap after trap, and I love it because you just so get to see.
I love it. I just love it.
You get to see human beings and how just what big liars they are, and how you can never trust anything anyone says because they're filtering it in a million different ways.
Oh boy,
what do you got for us, Tony?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, exactly on the same level as that. I've been rewatching the Bad Boys series this week, getting ready to go see Bad Boys Ride or Die next weekend.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen them in a long time. I did a rewatch right before Bad Boys for Life came out. What was that, 2020, I think? So it hasn't been that long, but a couple of years. And they're just delightful. They're really fun movies. I really enjoy them. And I'm excited to see the new one. So that might be what I talk about next week. Hopefully, if it's good.
I watched some of that Beverly Hills Cop, the new one. It is so nostalgic. It is like crazy.
Right?
How much it feels like a movie from the past.
An 80s movie.
It looks like
they did such a good job.
It looks like it. It sounds like it. It feels like it. You're like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a movie from a different era, and they did it well. Like, they did it right. I don't know. I loved it. Did you enjoy that process, or did you just notice it and like didn't give a shit?
I mean, I think that was what's most interesting thing about the movie. I didn't watch the whole movie, but I was just watching it, and I was like, well, this is really interesting. I mean, it's just like him and his daughter, and he's I want to be a cop, and I'd rather be copping than being a dad, and she's just like, I just want you to be my dad. You're like, okay, that's fine.
Classic.
Yeah, it's great. It's not a movie that I'm like I'm in love with or anything, but I probably won't ever finish it. But it's like, it's interesting.
Oh, you know what? I'll take it. I don't even care. I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times now.
Well, because it's a movie that's made for you.
You darn right it is. I would have paid for it to be made if I had any money.
It is the kind of content that you exactly want. And it's pretty interesting that they would actually make you the exact content that you would want.
Everyone's always like, well, they don't make them like they used to. Guess what? They just did, idiots. They did it exactly like they used to.
They can if they want to.
Yeah. It was I love it. I think they did a really wonderful job.
So our movie for next week's one that we've been needing to do for a long time.
Okay.
I was watching this Wolverine movie, and I was like, hey, that's the star of the movie we should probably do next week. And I was like, hey, that's the other star of the movie. Two of the stars in this movie are the stars of the movie we're doing next week.
Really?
The female lead is the same.
Wait, the female lead? The Silver Fox lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the male lead is the person who played Gambit.
Wait, what movie did they do together?
They did John Carter.
Oh, she's in John Carter. I didn't even. Okay.
She's Deja Thoris. Yeah, they tried to make her like the super hot girl for a little while.
I mean, I think that I'm okay with that. I don't disagree with that thought process.
Yeah, she's very attractive, and she's very attractive in John Carter. And
Okay.
Taylor Kitsch he's an enigma. you're like, I'm not sure why he doesn't work.
I don't hate him in anything he does. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I always think he does at minimum a fine job. I think sometimes he does a great job. You know, like, he's never in anything that I see, he is not the problem.
Yeah.
But the movies are always bad. You know what I mean?
He just might be incredibly unlucky that he gets in these projects.
Him or his representation. Somebody is bad at picking projects, and it fucked this guy.
Well, there's with John Carter, there's definitely a whole group of people who I see that appear on Twitter and whatnot, and who are all like, just watch John Carter again. This movie's really good. Why is everybody crap on this movie? And then, you get all these other people that are saying, yeah, this movie. And I think John Carter is the same movie as Wolverine. I think they're the same movie where it's the same thing. You're just like, there's, it's not that it's terrible. It's just that it just doesn't resonate in a way that a movie has to resonate,
Especially a blockbuster.
Blockbuster has to do a lot of things just right to cement that thing. And I think both of these movies, if you're like a super comic book guy and you just want to see the Wolverine claws come out, and you want to see him jumping at people, and you want to see Sabretooth jumping at people, and that's what you want to see, people crashing into each other.
Yeah, amen.
Okay. But it's not like, you watch Deadpool, the first one, and you're like, I love these scenes. That last scene at the end on the helicarrier falling over, just a great fight scene. Just everything about it's great.
Yeah.
All different levels. You have Colossus doing Colossus things. The jokes are all good in there. You're like, this is all worked out. And what is that movie? That movie's just two set scenes that are glued together, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
There's an origin, set scene. That's it. That's all. The movie's just three things, really.
But done in a good way.
And that's what,
They do a good job. No, I'm pumped for the new one. Yeah. So I won't be able to talk about it for a couple weeks after you guys see this because we shoot early. But I am going to go see it the week that this episode premieres. So.
Oh, look at you, Tony.
Look at you.
And it's not going to be bad, so I don't have to see it for months.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Well, so that's it. We're going to Mars. The reason why John Carter failed is because they didn't call it John Carter Warlord of Mars. That's what a lot of people want to say. It's the title.
That's the title. Just because they dropped everything after John Carter. Okay.
Literally, that is a big point of contention and argument. That is the reason. Okay. Because people went in there and they're all like, "What's this John Carter movie? Oh, if I had known it was about Mars, I'd have been okay with it." You're like, no, that's
no. I don't think that's it, guys. Let's try again.
It's not all the John Carter Warlord of Mars stands that demand that Warlord of Mars is in that title.
Sure. No, that's not it. I love it. Good for them.
Okay.
Fight the good fight.
So if you like what you like our show, favorite our show, subscribe to our show, comment our show, cross-promote our show. These are all things you could do. Cross-promotion.
Cross-promote? We don't even cross-promote.
I'm tired. I'm tired of talking, Tony. I talked too much today.
All right, well, let's wrap it up then. We'll see y'all next week for John Carter. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch him!